The Royal Rumble is over, and Wrestlemania is upon us. And Cameron is over here, dropping predictions like Nostradamus.
Hey.
I wrote that one down. I didn't come up with that one off the head. That's it. That is the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. Of course, this is a podcast. It's hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne. It's also hosted by Mike the Shoot Shepherd.
Da-da-dum.
And we are coming off a huge, huge week because we've put our keys in the ignition. We made sure everyone got their bathroom break before we left the house.
I mean, some people these days don't even have they just have remote starters. No key in ignition.
There is no key in the ignition. Of course, you press a little button, and the car starts. Of course, we got all the little snacks and stuff for the kids so they don't go complaining the whole way, because this is going to be a long family road trip. Of course, we're heading down the road to WrestleMania, and it has to start somewhere.
Yeah, and it starts at the royal court, if you will, the squared circle of knights and nobles, the Royal Rumble, of course.
Review. The Royal Rumble is the start of the WrestleMania season. It's sign pointing season, baby. It's my favorite time of the year. And we had the pay-per-view on the weekend, so let's get right into it now.
Yeah. One quick thing, nothing really too important on SmackDown, except for the only thing that we hadn't really talked about in a while. We had the big return of the quarterly brand-to-brand invitational. So it does still exist.
Did I miss? Was there a brand-to-brand invitational that I missed?
Well, there was just a bunch of Raw guys showing up on SmackDown, like AJ Styles and...
What do we do about this?
A couple other guys. Miz and Morrison were there.
Right, Miz.
Anyways, they made the excuse. The matches don't matter because it was all just hype for the Rumble, but had to mention that they do still acknowledge the quarterly brand-to-brand, and that was 25% of it that night.
Wait, is it 4 times? I thought it was 4 times per person, not 4 times per brand. Because, of course, as you may remember on the Season 2 kickoff, October 17th, 2020, Braun, Xavier Covey, and Sheamus all crossed brands. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Just wanted to mention it.
Okay, well, it's...
in case you wanted to keep score.
It's going into the... it's going into the tally now. It is being logged for the stats.
Yeah, and I guess basically the big ending was Braun Strowman came out at the end, so we're like, oh, he's back. I don't even remember what show he was on.
I forgot too. Well, okay, because he was on SmackDown, but then
he was the Universal Champ.
Yeah, he was in and out of that Universal Championship around last year's WrestleMania, and then of course, how can we forget Raw Underground? He kind of moved over, and then he put on the gloves.
That's when he got the gloves.
And he moved over to Raw Underground. So,
and then when that collapsed, he's like, "Where do I go from here?" I put everything I had into Raw Underground.
That was my bread and butter. I know. What was I gonna do?
That was my GameStop stock.
That was going to be the thing to lift me to the main event card. Yeah. God, who's buying that Braun merch? I don't know. We're not even talking about it. All we know is, and I get this like pit in the bottom of my stomach when Braun Strowman shows up 3 days before the Royal Rumble. I'm just like, fuck.
Well, at the very least, he's in the match.
At the very least, at least we know he's in the match. There was a pre-show that I didn't know about until while I was watching the show. So that's always fun when you find out about something.
The Royal Rumble?
When you find out about something while it's happening. But yeah, there was a pre-show, and it was...
you should know by now, there's always a pre-show.
I know, but there's something... Okay, maybe I meant to say something happened on the pre-show.
Yeah, championship implications. And featuring some wrestlers you like as well. So
and some I don't. So, of course, we have Asuka and Charlotte Flair. They're defending their women's tag team championships against who else? I don't know. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Can we give them a name now? I feel like we came up with the golden role models way sooner than this Nia Shayna team.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything I'm going to say is going to be mean. So.
I know, me too. I was like, I have a very good one, but it's really mean, so I'm not going to say
exactly.
it. Maybe we'll say that one off mic. But the match happens, and that's one thing that won't be able to be disputed. The match occurred.
I mean, and as to be expected anytime Charlotte's wrestling lately. Ric Flair comes out with Lacey, and Charlotte's like, fuck. And anyways, all this distraction ends up eventually coming into... I think Rick gets even more involved this time. He hands Lacey a foreign object, and she loads her hand, clocks Charlotte in the face. So Nia leg drops her, pins her. So unfortunately, once again, Shayna and Nia tag champs. So one pointless reign to another.
Yeah, what was the point? Wait, how did that happen again?
I mean, they had the belts.
Because it was Charlotte coming back to TV.
Yeah, she replaced Lana, who was supposed to be with Asuka.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but hopefully this is just a way to get the belts to lose, so they can lose to the winner of the Women's Dusty Cup. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Move the belt over to NXT. Yeah. Because, it sure as hell not being used on Raw. And unfortunately, with Nia and Shayna winning, that means they'll just stay on Raw.
Yeah. I mean, the Riot Squad's the only team that we're rooting for at the moment.
I think they're the only team with a name.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
But let's go to this main card here. And they're kicking right off with a WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre defending against his father, Goldberg. And, I like the placing of this. Get it over with at the start of the show. And they kept it short and sweet.
I mean, it couldn't be. It couldn't be any shorter, and the end result couldn't be any sweeter. Of course, we had a couple. We got a couple spears. I think we did. We get a jack
before the bell rang. There was like a headbutt. There was.
I
think the barricade was speared through.
Yeah, barricade was speared through. We got a jackhammer.
And he hoisted him up. There was a little wiggle, but he got him up. It was good.
Now, my biggest takeaway from this match was Goldberg looked to be wearing like.
I was gonna mention he was
like shorts a biker would wear, but baggy.
To me,
slightly.
To me, I was thinking, he was trying to look more like Brock Lesnar with the looser shorts. Normally he has like tight, like not like,
Yeah. That was the very, very first thing I noticed, and when I saw that,
much more baggier.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna lose. And he does. Of course, we get a quick Claymore at the end of the match. The two men are standing up.
He might have kicked out of one earlier, but
two
Claymores,
and then we shake hands.
We shake hands, and then Goldberg's like, "You passed the test." As if he was the one.
As if he is like, the stepping stone of God. I would love to go back and rank the 10 longest Goldberg matches, and just see what like the average, maybe since his average of the last 25 years, how long those matches are. They're not going to be that long.
No, they are not.
No, they are not. But the match is over, and Drew survives and retains. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Everything, we got through that, and we still got some good shit to get to. So let's go to the women's title match. SmackDown Women's title. Sasha Banks defending against Carmella. Match was pretty solid. I like what they're doing. Reginald out there being a pest. He gets ejected eventually. So unfortunately, he wasn't there to catch Carmella when she goes for this suicide dive onto Sasha, but she just comes out with extreme velocity, just overshoots Banks, lands on her head, neck area. Very scary. But she popped up, she continued, so I guess she's okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary botch there.
Yeah, I think she's tried that dive a couple times. It always looks a little scary. But she's okay. These women are flexible. So anyways, they get back up. They continue back and forth. A couple near falls, super kicks. Eventually, Sasha locks in that Bank statement, gets a submission victory to retain her title. So match was good, but that suicide dive, that was the big moment that I took away. Just scary.
Yeah, that was a little eek. I think that's...
you could see Sasha checking on her right away, too. She's like, oh, fuck, you okay?
I think that's how I remember the match, too. But whatever.
Like, going back, that's all... Yeah, the match itself was fine, but if you ask me about it in a couple weeks, that's all I'll remember from it.
Yeah, I probably won't remember much.
We get a quick little backstage promo from New Day where they reveal their nice Brody Lee tribute gear that they were wearing, which is really cool.
Yeah, it looks real nice, too.
Yeah. Kofi's still not ready to compete, but at least he's back on screen. So
at least.
There we go. And then I guess well, this is kind of the cool off moment in between the card here. We get a little live performance of the hit song, apparently, Booker T by the artist Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
you know this guy?
You know when you have to say hit song, apparently.
Well, I have no idea who Bad Bunny is, but apparently he's, in other countries, he's platinum selling artist. So
no, you've heard who that guy is. He sung that song last summer. Fuck.
Is it in English?
It's one of those halvesy songs where like his part is in Spanish, but then Cardi B comes in rapping English.
Oh.
See, Mike, you're stuck in your. I think you're stuck in your little.
I said I like it like that.
You're stuck in your T Swift zone. I think we need to branch out to the Billboard Hot. I don't think it was that song.
I like it like that.
But it was one of those other types.
Because that's got his kind of vibe. Then he comes in, Ropico, hey!
Exactly. Yeah, like you got it. You just sung. you just sung the song. Yeah, it was one of those.
But this song wasn't that. If Cardi B was here, I might have liked it. She comes out. And then, but anyways, this was fine. People must have liked it. Booker T just stood there the whole time as this guy wraps around him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever. Anyways, let's get to one of the big matches of the year. We got the Women's Royal Rumble match. And we're kicking off number one spot with Bayley. The number one reigning SmackDown champ gets the number one spot. Why not?
Oh, why not?
And then right off the bat, we get our first return as Naomi comes out at number 2.
Former champion coming back at the Rumble. Love seeing it.
Yeah, looking good, feeling the glow,
mm-hmm.
and she did a damn good job. She lasted nearly the whole thing.
Seems like she did.
Over 47 minutes.
Wow.
And then Bianca Belair comes out at number 3 real early, so we expected her to come in early and dominate, and she did. Her and Naomi just doing some fun athletic stuff. And then Billie Kay, our girl, comes out. She had a fun little storyline at the Rumble where she just, she's got her stack of resumes. She sits down at the announce table. And then every time someone new comes out, she goes over and tries to, win them over to team up. Shotzi Blackheart comes out. She's got her tank. She just fires a missile at Billie Kay. But I got to say, Shotzi's presence in this Rumble was maybe my biggest disappointment of the night.
Well, and I think we said we said like something similar last week when it came to NXT people. Like, you can't call somebody up from NXT, bring them onto the Rumble, and then just fucking squash them. And that's why, we thought to ourselves earlier, that's why we're not going to see Ciampa. That's why we're not going to see Adam Cole, baby, because you can't really bury them. Or, to make somebody look strong and then return to NXT, those two kind of things don't really seem to go in the same sentence together. And I think Shotzi Blackheart just fell victim to that.
Yeah, I just would have liked, a couple more minutes, maybe at least one elimination. But nope, she only lasted 2:45 and was the very first person thrown out of the match.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed. But
yeah, it does seem like one of those things, right? It's great to have her on the card because people like her. But you can't book her better than some of the women on the main roster, right? Has she necessarily put in that time? I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Up next, I think we had some Shayna Baszler. Toni Storm came out. She did a bit better than Shotzi.
Yeah, well, a bit. I mean, we saw a bunch of the women from NXT, and none of them performed as well as they do in NXT.
No, only one woman from NXT did well, but we get another surprise of the return. Tell me if you don't know this person, Jillian Hall.
Nope.
So she comes down to the ring. She's doing this bad singer gimmick. So that was her one gimmick. She was like this fake Britney Spears, American Idol, can't sing thing. But before she did that, it was even worse. She debuted as this woman. Like, she came out, you could only see one side of her face, and we're like, oh, she's beautiful. And then she turns around, and she's got this big growth, this giant, brain growing out of the side of her cheek.
That's gross.
And then one day, the boogeyman shows up. He bites the growth and eats it, chews it up, swallows it, and then she turned into a singer after that.
Wow. That's
I just had to tell you
that sounds terrible. Yeah. I'll be honest.
It was pretty damn bad. They did not mention that part of her story when she showed up. But the one person who was pumped to see her was Billie Kay, who's still hanging around, and she pitches her, hey, let's team. Billie and Jilly. And they do. They team up. Things are going well for a while. But then Ruby Riott comes out. So Billy's like, no, she's cool. She's with us. Billy Kay's doing all right. She's working well. Victoria comes out. That's another returning legend from the early 2000s. You may or may not know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Well, anyways, she invented that Widow's Peak move that you see a lot, which, in fact, Peyton Royce was there. She was using it. And when Peyton was in the ring, we get this brief Iconics reunion where they team up on Victoria. But right as they do the Iconics pose, Ruby looks at Billy, and Billy's like, oh. She stops partway through. She doesn't know what to do. Yeah, poor Billy.
I guess, yeah.
Throw her about.
Yeah,
well, I guess she gets eliminated.
But yeah, but it sort of seems like if there's one match where very, 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 very few people will get a bone thrown to them, it's the Royal Rumble, right?
I mean, I liked her storyline
because we just need bodies at this point. That's why Shotzi's gone in 2 minutes.
Well, speaking of bodies, that's why we had Santana Garrett from NXT.
See, just bodies.
Yeah. See, that was a bit of an odd choice, but she had a couple cool spots, but mostly just getting eliminated. Some bigger names that I guess, like you said, might have helped that they didn't show up because they weren't going to do anything. People like Mercedes Martinez or Xia Li. Yeah,
they're way too big to just fucking go down in 2 minutes or whatever have you, especially if you're like taking on Peyton Royce's main roster. Therefore, she gets, she gets the bump before somebody coming up from NXT. Let's say, I mean, we see Dakota Kai later in the match, and although you may think to yourself, wow, the quality of matches Dakota Kai can put on is not even comparable to those of Peyton Royce, but you're not main roster yet, so sit down and wait your turn.
Yeah, she got the Shotzi treatment as well.
She got the Shotzi treatment. Ember Moon got the Shotzi treatment.
Ember Moon. But one person who did not from NXT, we got Rhea Ripley, who came out about halfway through.
A big call-up, that like middle of the pack 14-15 spot is exactly where you want to be. I think we may have seen this one kind of coming also, or if there is anybody to be booked huge on the Rumble, Rhea Ripley
knew she was going to be there.
Yeah.
And she was going to be in it till the end. Tori Wilson had another return. We've seen her in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
More. Just Lacey Evans comes out. Charlotte's in there. She's distracted by Rick again. Same old shit. Mickie James, Nikki Cross. I haven't seen Nikki in a while, so it's nice to have her back.
Yeah, we haven't.
Her new theme song.
What's she doing? Do we think she's cruising around on main event?
Probably. She's probably been racking up a couple wins there. Alicia Fox comes out.
My
number
favorite.
21. The Foxy. But then R-Truth comes out as well. And Foxy's just like, hey, wrong Rumble. So he's like, damn.
Now, I think we did this joke last year. Also, I think Truth came out, and in classic male fashion, we had to make a women's event all about us. So Truth had to jump in there and do his thing. But one thing I thought, Humberto Carrillo's still alive. He's just in the gaggle. That was kind of my biggest takeaway from that little event.
The commentary mentioned, I wouldn't even have noticed the commentary. It wasn't like, hey, that's Humberto Carrillo.
Oh, I picked him out right away. He was the only one of the gaggle I didn't immediately recognize.
So that's why you recognize
Yes,
him.
exactly. Yeah, he drew my eye.
Well, anyways, this all led to Truth running into the ring. Alicia Fox rolls him up, gets the 3, wins the 24/7 title. But that changes her focus from the match, so she gets eliminated. And then Truth right there to roll her up, win back his belt. So anyways, we're getting near the end here. So I did some math, or I just looked at the stats, and there was 6 NXT women in the match, and Rhea Ripley was the only one of them to get any eliminations.
I was going to say, I bet also if you were to take the 6 women in the match, if you were to go the 5 times combined, like the amount of time spent in the match, I would say it would maybe be about half the amount of time that Rhea Ripley spent in the match. If we were to kind of look at that.
Yeah. Carmella comes out. She's got Reginald there to catch her for those spots. But eventually she gets eliminated. Naomi does her little Kofi spot where she's like tossed on the floor and just lands on her back, keeps her feet in the air, and then grabs onto Bianca Belair's hair and uses it like a rope to pull back up. And they're both just like hanging upside down by their feet. And then Lana makes her big return at number 26. You didn't think she could make it, but I had a feeling.
Didn't think she could make it. I know. I was the first doubter.
Yeah, so I was happy. She wasn't afraid. She got right in the mix. She was going after the big dogs. Then Alexa Bliss comes out, and she's her happy playground self. She gets in the ring. She's starting to hit some people, and all the women just say, fuck this. They gang up on the poor girl. They beat her down, and then the lights start to shut down. And we know what's going to happen. She's ready to metamorphosize into her evil version. But Rhea Ripley's not going to stand for that. She's not going to wait. So she just runs right up, dumps Bliss to the ropes, and eliminates her. Which was I was a little surprised by how little Bliss did, but I get it.
This was the TSN turning point for me in the match, because I think Mike, you and I both had Alexa Bliss kind of making it to that final four. Considering she's been so big the past few weeks on the show, and to have Rhea Ripley eliminate her, this was the moment where
that was the Claymore to Brock.
This was the Claymore to Brock moment. This was the This is now we're getting fucking serious, of course, because Rhea Ripley was already on a tear of eliminations, and this was just adding another one.
Yeah, so I get it. If they didn't want to have any fuck around shenanigans, no transformations mid Rumble, keep it clean. So they just got rid of her quick. Yeah, and then Nia Jax comes out at number 29. So thankfully we don't have too much of her in this Rumble coming out so late. Yeah, so eventually I think Lana's the one that gets to eliminate her. That's her big spot of the Rumble.
Yeah,
Nia comes charging at her.
That was the payoff. I almost forgot about however many months ago that kind of happened, and then we never quite got the payoff we wanted.
Well, it should have been her and Charlotte's spot winning the belt.
Yeah. I mean, or her and Asuka.
That's what I mean.
I think this was just, I don't know if this was the alternative or if this was the plan the whole way, but I think this must have been the payoff.
Well, I'm just happy she had a moment in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I was just happy she returned and she got a little. I didn't expect her to win, obviously, but
no.
And then Natalya comes out at number 30, which was actually revealed ahead of time on WWE Backstage.
Yeah, why do they do shit like that?
I don't know. It's kind of dumb. They had a match to determine it between Natalya and Tamina, but why is it those two? I don't know. The whole thing was kind of weird. I would have rather just not have known. But
yeah. I mean, isn't the whole surprise of the event that you don't know when someone's going to come out, and then for them to just go it's going to be Natalya at 30? Because then I'm like, there's no way she's going to win then. There's no way.
No way.
Natalya doesn't win shit anymore.
No. The only thing she did here was betray her mentor, Lana, as she dumps her to the floor. But hey, that means Lana was in the final five, because we're now at the final four. Natalya, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte. And then Natty, she's the first one eliminated by Bianca. And then Belair and Rhea, they team up to eliminate Charlotte. So we're down to a final two, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. And they just have an awesome little sequence, the two of them. Close calls, back and forth, feet dangling, hanging off the ropes. And then I think the finishing moment comes when Belair counters the Riptide, Rhea counters the KOD. They both go for clotheslines, and Belair knocks Rhea Ripley over the ropes to the floor. Bianca Belair is your 2021 Women's Royal Rumble winner.
Just like that, baby. Ask and ye shall receive. Bianca Belair as the new champion. Not only...
Well, not yet.
Or that's right. Well, I meant, the Royal Rumble champion. Yeah, she won the Royal Rumble.
Of course.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, and I think the two biggest things for me out of this was, one, hell yeah, Bianca Belair, and number two was the hell yeah, Rhea Ripley. I mean, to come in, I guess it's your second Rumble or whatever. I think she was in last year's. But not only to have the most eliminations this year, to last almost, it felt like the entire thing. She was in it. She comes in, halfway through the match and lasts the rest of the match, and she's not even on the main roster yet.
Not yet, but I think this is her coming up party.
Which is huge. We need more of these NXT women on the main roster. Whether it be Rhea Ripley, whether it be Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, whoever you want it to be. We've known this for years. The women down there can wrestle fucking circles. around a good chunk of this main roster division. And Rhea Ripley coming up. That's good news.
Yeah, that was fun. Awesome victory for Bianca Belair. I predicted Ripley, but I wanted Belair in my heart. The final two sequence, that was great. Great Rumble. And the celebration afterwards was just as good as Bianca Belair. Is super emotional. She gets interviewed. Biggest win of her career. She's got tears. Just cuts an awesome babyface promo. Being the toughest. Talks about it. Going to WrestleMania. Mama, Daddy, I did it. She cries. She points at the sign. The pyro goes off. Either way, Belair, and she also set the record for the longest time in the Rumble. Over 56 minutes. She beat Natalia's record.
Is that it? She beat Natty's time?
By 46 seconds.
Wow. Did I call that one too? Probably. Probably.
But, yeah. Great Rumble. Great results. I can't wait to see Belair. I mean, hopefully we'll see her challenge Sasha, but either way, she'll have a good match.
Yeah, hopefully
Sasha Belair just has
she stays the fuck away from Raw women's division. And I think the exact same thing can be said for Rhea Ripley. I hope that she stays the fuck away because unfortunately you see Rhea Ripley and I don't want her first feud to be with Nia Jax. I don't want it. Don't do it. Don't give it to me.
I do feel like she is going to Raw, though.
Have her be on SmackDown, where there's good wrestlers, instead of her being forced to wrestle Nia. Well, I mean...
What about your Queen, Charlotte?
Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't want... I don't want Charlotte with Nia either. I don't want anyone wrestling with Nia Jax. Because that's like, that's almost career suicide.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in her hands, and guess what? She's going to hurt you.
Well, thankfully she didn't have too much screen time.
Amen.
On this pay-per-view. But then we cut briefly to the kickoff panel where Truth shows up to cut a promo, and then Peter Rosenberg tells him John Cena's here. Low blows Truth, rolls him up, wins the 24/7 title. So Pete Rosenberg.
Yeah, that's cool.
Why not? He has a radio show or something.
Okay.
I don't know. But let's go to the last man standing match for the Universal title. Roman Reigns defending against Kevin Owens. They start in the ring, but it doesn't last long. They fight their way up the ramp over to the side of the stage, the Thunderdome. Same spot they've been fighting the last couple weeks. They just climb up those balconies. I think they even went an extra layer higher this time, but there were still those tables on the ground just waiting for someone. And, of course, that someone's probably going to be Owens. So he just gets thrown off this balcony, through the tables, crashing down. But he beats the 10 count. So they continue their way, this time into the backstage area, which is this huge open area, I guess.
Well, I mean, I guess it's the rest of the baseball stadium.
Yeah. But it just looks, normally you're like, wow, this is just so huge. And there was even like an extra ring and the announce table set up. They had everything. So Owens, he's staggering to his feet when Roman Reigns just comes zooming in from the right side of your screen and just drives fucking right through Kevin Owens in this golf cart. And Owens, he didn't jump into the side and bump off of it like Sammy Guevara. He just jumped through it head first through the windshield at full speed. That was pretty insane.
He went right into it. Back first, I think, but still impressive.
Well, I mean, back end head. Back. That means he's not looking. He could have conked Roman in the head.
Could have, yeah. Good point.
Anyways, that was crazy. But Owens, he beats the count. He gets back up. Power bombs Roman onto this announce table. Frog splashes him through it. And then they fight their way over to this second set of tables, which looks to be used for production or something. There was like spray paint and tools.
Yeah, it was, some very haphazardly left spray paint. Some with the caps on, some without.
They didn't expect anyone to be back here fighting.
There's a lot of things to spray paint in the Thunderdome. Clearly, they had like 7 bottles of spray paint. What are they painting?
The chairs. They want to make them black.
Want to pay? Yeah, so that's because it's cheaper to buy white chairs and then pay somebody to paint them black. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Vince.
He's all about that bottom dollar,
So Owens, he lays Roman down on these tables, and then he finds a nearby forklift. We don't know if he's licensed, but he knows how to use it. As he turns it on, he raises the lift all the way up to the top, and there's a nice wooden pallet up there as well. So he gets out, climbs onto the roof, stands on this pallet. He's very high up in the air. He's even he kisses his wedding ring because this jump may kill him. But he hits a massive flipping senton through the tables, through Roman, killing everyone. Well, not quite. Reigns gets up at the count of 9. This match continues. So they fight back once again out to the front stage area. Roman spears Owens through the LED boards, but he gets up from that. And then I think there was this unplanned spot where Owens like rubs his arm against one of the big lights, and he's like, "Ah, it burns." Did you catch that?
I did. I just assumed it was planned. You think it was unplanned? Oh, like he just...
I don't know. Because I think he just like touched it. He's like, "Oh, fuck, that thing was hot."
Yeah. A lot of those fixtures are LEDs. You know, they wouldn't be hot.
Some of them are, but
you know, there's...
Can LEDs shoot the beam out like that?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember when I was a little kid, I was at this birthday party, and there was this purple light bulb in the basement, just like, I don't know, putting off a cool vibe. And then I went up and touched it, and it burned me for like a week.
Oh, really? Still got the scars to prove it?
No, I was like 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
fingers heal.
It didn't burn you all the way through.
Well, not to the bone, but like, you know, there was dead skin afterwards.
A quick tss.
Yeah. I didn't tell anyone. I just stuck my finger in my ice cream to cool it down.
Did you eat the ice cream?
I don't know. I think I was just like, fuck, this hurts, so I just stuck it in there.
Probably.
I ate the cake.
Sounds about right.
Saved the ice cream to heal.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's sidebar. Let's get back to this. Reigns comes in. He's got a pair of handcuffs, but Owens hits him with a stunner, and then he handcuffs Roman around the big steel beam lighting rig. So Roman's stuck there on his ass, and the ref's counting. He's up to 9. So Roman grabs him by the shirt and just yanks him headfirst into this thing, knocks him out. So the match is saved. So Kevin just beats him up some more, but then Reigns low blows him. And then Paul Heyman comes waddling out with the key. But those damn penguin hands, you know, they got no fingers. So he's struggling to open these handcuffs.
This one was tough. So like buddy, new ref comes in, gets to like 5, and then they kind of like have to like take him off screen. It lasts for I don't know what. It felt like it was a minute.
Yeah, longer than the thing. The key went into business for itself, trying to get over. But I think at one point Roman even just stood on his 2 feet while down because he did.
He was down and crouched, which I thought was funny because I was like, haha, could have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like it was way too long. I have no clue what happened. Which really though, it's nice knowing that WWE they're using real handcuffs. You think if they were trick handcuffs, he would have been able to just kind of do it with another hand. And I don't know, maybe it was like, you know, Paul Heyman's little sausage link fingers and they couldn't grab the little
I don't know.
The little key. It felt so weird.
But they did eventually get those cuffs off.
Eventually.
Roman goes over, he attaches himself to Owens with that guillotine, chokes him out, gets the 10 count. So Reigns wins, retains his title. I thought everything but that handcuff was amazing. The whole match up to that point was awesome, but yeah, unfortunately, those cuffs took a little too long. Yeah,
that was a little bit of a bummer, but the rest of the match was...
Kevin Owens just giving it his all.
Yeah, you know, like the trash talking throughout the... I don't think there was really any blood either. Nobody bladed or anything like that.
No blood, but a bunch of big spots.
A lot of big spots. And Kevin Owens is such a big boy. Whenever he hits the ground, there's a real thud to it.
Oh, yeah. But no, overall, the whole match, other than that, little cuff spot was pretty great match. The cuff. One of the better last man standing matches.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, sort of in the way in which we knew the night would be unfolding at us, you know, so certainly we had our first 2 championship matches of the evening, followed by the Women's Rumble, and we kind of said to ourselves, oh, shit, that means there's only 2 more things, the Men's Rumble and then this last man standing match, and instead of cooling us off, like sometimes a middle match can do, or we're not into it because it just came off of something great, like Bianca Belair winning. This held my attention the entire time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like 25 minutes, but it didn't feel like it was dragging. It was because they just kept moving from spot to spot.
And it was nice to see a little bit more of the of Tropicana Field. There was one point where I think either Roman or Kevin starts stumbling through into Gorilla. And I'm thinking to myself, hoo, here we go, Gorilla at the Thunderdome. But we didn't get it.
Yeah, there was one.
The camera just cuts out to like the other side. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, and then when they were back there as well, there was one point where you could just see the Miz's briefcase just sitting on a table.
I did see that, and it was like the one because it was dented and looked all.
Yeah, it was dented. You could tell he must have just come back after, and he's like, "Oh, let's put that there. Come get it later." I just forgot about it. It was in the shot.
Oh well.
But anyways, that was that. Let's just move on to the main event of the evening. We're talking about the men's 30-man Royal Rumble match. Right off the bat, one man that was advertised ahead of time that does not appear was Jey Uso, who has kind of been missing the last few weeks conspicuously.
Yeah, I wonder why. It was nice to see. I mean, it really wasn't started until after this match was over, especially the one with Roman, where I was like, oh shit, Uso wasn't there at all, and he didn't need to be there either. This was one of the first Roman Reigns matches since he came back, and I think it was fine. I didn't notice it at all.
Yeah, it was fine. And there was also no Keith Lee here either. So there's along with
that's fine.
Along with Reckoning was also not in the Women's Rumble, who's of course married to Keith Lee. So if one's out, they're probably both out.
Well, Reckoning is she's not just sure, she's COVID positive.
Oh, well, then that's why.
Yeah, so that I think that news came out like 2 days before the Rumble happened. So since that happened, I'm like, oh, okay, so that means Keith Lee also is not going to be there. Who knows? He may have filled one of these roles somewhere throughout the Rumble also. You never know.
Yeah, but let's get to the action, because coming out in the number one spot is the Rated R superstar, Edge. And then following right up at number 2, we got Randy Orton, whose face has miraculously fully healed.
Oh, you should see what they're doing down there in Florida when it comes to cosmetic surgery, Mike. They can do wonders to some of these things. Do have to say, though, this was also, this one, too, was also an announcement from the same show where Natalya was announced as number 30. Stop doing this. Stop telling us 2 days before the event, because, okay, so having Edge come out at number 1... hell yeah. If I had known that, would I have suggested Edge was going to win? I honestly don't know. But wasn't there a year where it was this last year's Rumble was Brock, we knew this weeks in advance. Brock's, I'm coming out first because fuck all y'all. It gives us this kind of a little bit of drama, a little bit of something to add to the match instead of just hey, guess who's coming out first? It's like, what? Dude, what? I would have been far more surprised if Edge just came out.
Yeah.
At that point, if you're only appeasing the people who are following your Twitter account, at that point, what the fuck are we doing?
No, I'm all for more surprises all the time. So here we are. We got Edge, we got Orton, number 1 and 2. Yes, like we said, we knew ahead of time, but still fun. Let's just get right into it. They're going right after each other, beating each other all around the ring. Sami Zayn comes out number 3, teams up with Orton against Edge. Then I think Mustafa Ali comes out. They all team up against Edge for a while until Jeff Hardy comes out to save him. And Edge spears Orton. They fight outside the ring over to the announce table where Edge hits Orton with a big DDT, follows up with a bunch of chair shots, targeting his knee. And then Edge just goes back into the ring to continue to the Rumble as the officials tend to Orton, and they take him backstage to be checked out. So who knows what'll happen with him.
But never went over that top rope.
Never went over the top rope, so still officially he has until the end of the match to come back. In the meantime, you get the likes of Ziggler, Nakamura, the big return of Carlito, who was supposed to, he no-showed Legends Night, but this is much better to actually be in a match. So, he looked great. He's kind of getting the MVP treatment, I guess. We'll see. if he sticks around. But Xavier, Big E come out. They target to eliminate Sammy. So conspiracy again. But Miz and Morrison, I think Miz destroys the Bad Bunny's DJ equipment.
Yeah, before he even gets into the ring.
Yeah. And then somehow Ricochet, he got a spot, even though he failed to qualify. But I guess he took maybe Jey Uso, who's supposed to be here.
Well, of course, we were asking ourselves, somebody has to be the one to do a cool recovery spot, and we suggested Ricochet.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the ones to do it. But Elias was in there, but no Jackson Riker, thankfully. Then we had our big NXT guy of the night, our only NXT performer in the Men's Rumble, actually, Damian Priest, number 14.
Yeah, which was great. I think we thought that he may be on his way up also.
Yeah, and he did pretty good. He picked up some eliminations, lasted about 15 minutes. I think he knocked out Kane after his big return.
I think he may have had the most eliminations.
Of the whole match?
The whole match.
Wow, I'm not sure, but Bad Bunny comes out to yell at Miz and Morrison for breaking his shit, and then Priest dumps Miz and Morrison out, and then Bad Bunny climbs up to the top rope, hits a crossbody. His foot kind of slips, but he still hits the move.
Yeah, he still hit it.
Yeah, better than Snoop Dogg's recent trip. Riddle comes out around the halfway point, and he lasted about a half hour. Pretty good job. Mm-hmm. And then Daniel Bryan, my pick, my hope to win, came in at number 17. And he did pretty well. Kane, as I mentioned, came out as well. They had a little reunion hug, but then Kane chokeslams him and gets a couple eliminations before Priest eliminated Kane. And I think, we had King Corbin, Otis, Dominic Mysterio. They all come out. Dominic got his big moment by eliminating Corbin, but he only lasted a couple minutes when Bobby Lashley comes out, and he just launched him to the floor, just threw him over the top ropes. And then Bobby eliminates Priest, so Lashley came in making a big splash. And then the Hurricane, Mr. Gregory Helms, was our next surprise, who was on an AEW pay-per-view a mere few months ago.
Not too long ago. He's just going all over the place, this guy.
Yeah, he's flip-flopping, but he was here just for that quick joke spot. Gets quickly dumped out. And then the actual big surprise return of the match, we got Christian at number 24. So much like Edge and Daniel Bryan, a man who was retired, told he'd never wrestle again. And here he is. And he must be fully cleared, because this wasn't like that Orton tease. He was right in the thick of this thing. Just taking bumps nearly 20 minutes in there.
Spent a good amount of time coming in there at the end.
Yeah, so him and Edge, they worked well, having a nice embrace together. AJ comes out with, I think they're calling him Amos now instead of Omos.
Oh, really? We're changing this every single week, it feels like.
It's messing with me. The big guy. He's there to catch AJ a couple times.
Who wasn't even in the match, I don't think.
Wasn't even in the match, but I don't know if you noticed, he had this big cut on his forehead.
No, I didn't, no.
Somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like tape. They you know how they have these clear bandages now that I guess heal.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, and then fucking Omos, he wasn't in the match, but he caused a couple eliminations. He yanked Big E to the floor, and it counts. They count it.
Yeah, so technically he has 0 time in the Rumble, but 2 eliminations. That's something special.
Yeah, it's weird. In the lead up to this Rumble, I watched a couple old ones for fun, and back in 1995, when Vader's out of the match and he comes back in and eliminates a bunch of people, they don't count it. They're like, doesn't count. He was out.
Oh, so they get to go back in. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Whatever. It's WWE. You can make the rules up.
Somebody's making the rules up.
And then Rey Mysterio comes out, and this was unusual. We get this mid-match advertisement for Victoria Beer.
Oh my god, that was all I noticed. That was all I
it was so weird.
Fucking logo came up in the side. Michael Cole's telling us about some beer that he's never drank before.
Some Mexican beer.
Fuck.
I don't think you ever even see alcohol sponsors in WWE.
Never.
So
it's all about
a bunch of weird things
Snickers.
about this. Yeah, the whole thing was weird. Just the I don't know. They must have gotten paid something for that. Something big.
So bizarre. But, I'd love to not try this beer ever.
We are getting near the end, though. Sheamus, Cesaro, they come out, followed by the return of the Messiah, Seth Rollins, at number 29. Then we get the number 30 entrant, the Monster, Braun Strowman. Not that big a deal for number 30, but whatever.
That's my Braun Strowman impression.
Yeah, I guess he's he might be the biggest guy. We had no big show.
Physically largest, of course. We had Kane pop up for a second, but
no Brock.
Nope, no Brocky.
No Keith Lee. So, anyways, we start weeding out some of these bodies here. Bryan and Riddle had a really nice little mat wrestling exchange until Seth Rollins runs in with a curb stomp to Bryan and tosses him out. I was surprised that he went out. I thought Final Four for sure for Daniel Bryan, but 7th place is where he placed in this Rumble. So I was a little surprised, but I guess they wanted a clear babyface and Edge. They didn't want you to have to choose who to root for. So Edge, I went all in on Edge at this point.
All in. We had to at that point.
Yeah. So we get down to our Final Four: Edge, Christian, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman. Braun and Edge, they're fighting over by the ropes. Christian goes to help. When Rollins just comes up behind, he dumps both Christian and Strowman to the floor, leaving us with Rollins and Edge. Seth goes for the curb stomp, but Edge reverses it, tosses him over the ropes to the floor. But then Randy Orton makes his return, hits the RKO out of nowhere. He picks up Edge, goes to throw him out, but thankfully Edge reverses it, tosses Orton to the floor, wins the match. Edge is going to WrestleMania.
He's going to WrestleMania to take on somebody. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. He's won his 2nd Royal Rumble, and he becomes the 3rd man in history to win from the number 1 spot.
Wow. It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened too often. However, I do remember, just before they matched, when they're in their little promo package, I thought it was very funny that they actually highlighted Shawn Michaels kind of going the distance, and I was like, it feels like a weird thing to highlight. You only have like a minute. It feels like a weird, very specific thing, but okay, whatever. We'll see it happens, and then you have it right there. Edge goes longer than Shawn Michaels and fucking does the same job.
Yeah, 58-28 was his total time. Great win for Edge. Fun Rumble.
Yeah, fun Rumble all in all. When we have these things now, because of course when we have the War Games pay-per-view, we have 2 War Games matches and the same with the Chamber. So I guess at the end of the show, we always, you're going to make an immediate which one did I like better in your head, and I gotta say, I think I enjoyed the Women's Rumble more. I felt like there were more things being paid off. I think we had the Lana payoff. We did have Rhea Ripley being dominant. We had this weird booking thing with Nia and Shayna. I felt like it had a little more to it than this Men's Rumble.
Yeah.
That being said, though,
yeah, I think I'd give the edge to the Women's Rumble as well.
Yeah, it was with very little build up towards it. It felt like of course the Rumble was happening, but it didn't feel like there was anything going on in the Rumble. It was just a bunch of people there. But all in all, I guess they kind of ended. It was a good one, I guess.
It was good. And fun little note. So Edge and Orton were the number 1 and 2, and they were the final 1 and 2, or the final 2. That's the same thing that happened when Shawn Michaels won from number 1. Him and the British Bulldog were the first 2 and the last.
There you go. And that's a fun little booked thing, and I guess it's something you can keep going back to, I guess.
And that was a fun pay-per-view overall.
I got it.
Pretty much everything was fun. Even the Goldberg, they kept it short, and they kept it inoffensive. So overall, good pay-per-view.
Yeah, overall, a lot of good stuff there, and can't wait for the road to be running.
The road is running. Should we just run right over to Raw?
I mean, it's the very next night, so we might as well get there. Actually, no. Before we do go to Monday Night Raw. I guess it's the start of our wrestling week because it is Monday. So we do have to cover first the tweet of the week. It's the tweet of the week. It's the tweet of the week. Of course. What would it be without? Yeah, we got that great spot in that last man standing match, the golf cart spot, and Mike, like you said it, you said it yourself. I mean, even while describing the events that were occurring, you said to yourself, he went through that glass not like Sammy. He didn't use it like Sammy did. Sammy. AEW, they're copying AEW's copying W. No one's ever used a golf cart before. No one's ever used a golf cart in a spot before, of course, because, I guess there is a finite amount of spots that you can use. There's only so many things that you can hit people with. Eventually, you're going to see some repeating. This week's Tweet of the Week champion goes to none other than our AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega, when he took to Twitter immediately after Rumble and saying, guys, I know they did it well, so props to all involved. Word of advice to all you weird WWE stans. If you're trying to piss me off, tweet something controversial about a video game I like. I don't care much about wrestling opinions. Those are yours. Have them.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing to take away from this is that the golf cart could be, the weapon of the future. Not only is it hard, not only can you break through it, but you take the governor off and you can just rip down some speeds. So if you're looking for another great spot in the future, I think look no further than a golf cart.
Yeah, it's safer. We've had real car spots before. People get hit by real cars, so that's a lot more dangerous.
Yes, exactly. In this case, you really only go in a limited speed, so you would probably be a little bit safer. But for that reason, Kenny Omega, you're just collecting gold all over the world, baby. You're the Tweety League champion.
Well done, Mr. Kenny. A good, nice, level-headed opinion.
Well, yes. So after our Tweet of the Week, we buried the lead earlier, so let's just get right into Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw.
Baby, because we know we're going to hear from the Rated R Superstar because he did just win the Rumble.
Yeah, so Drew comes out first, cutting a promo. He's like, I beat Goldberg, and Edge won the Rumble, and here we go. So Edge comes out, and he puts Drew over, says, hey, I'm happy. Or Drew puts him over, says, I'm happy you're out of retirement. But Edge is like, what's wrong with you, man? I won the Rumble. You should be ready to kill me right now. But you're showering me with compliments. And then Sheamus comes out, and he sticks his nose in things, and Edge just tells Drew that when he makes his decision, you'll know. But whoever I choose, I'm walking out as champ. So Edge leaves, and then Sheamus just kicks Drew from behind. So we finally get the full heel turn. He's completed it.
Yeah,
best friend.
After a year of we don't know, I guess.
Cockney, you little bastard.
So I guess when he was picking on Jeff Hardy, that was a face move because now we've really turned heel. Or Sheamus went face heel in less than 365 days.
I think that's more of what it is.
Wow.
Heel, face, heel. There was a brief face. When he gave Drew his kilt and sword, he turned face.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's...
I forgot about that.
And the treasure trunk. Or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
He's back heel again. His little overalls and his Cockney hat. Whatever it is. But
his little chimney sweep.
Yeah, chimcharoo. But let's get that U.S. title match. Bobby Lashley defending against Riddle. Riddle won that gauntlet last week to earn this. So we just get right into things. Riddle hits a big springboard floating bro to the floor. But Lashley recovers. Gets back in the ring. As Riddle goes to get in the ring as well, Lashley applies the Hurt Lock, but Riddle's over the ropes, so he has to break the hold, but he doesn't. The ref reaches the count of 5, calls for DQ. So ruins the match I was looking forward to.
Ruins the match. Yeah, Matt Riddle had like one good spot. Which is weird. So I think this Matt Riddle had to beat the rest of the Hurt Business just to get this opportunity, but then to lose like this.
No, he wins technically. But I mean, he doesn't win the belt.
No, you don't win until you're holding that belt above
I know.
your head.
I know. Hope maybe it'll lead to like a cage match or something.
Fight bit.
I mean, I don't know. A fight pit without Thatcher? Is it allowed?
Well, that's a good point. Well, I mean, I guess the first fight pit was Riddle Thatcher, so I guess Matt Riddle may.
I mean, Riddle's
he may still have a stake to claim, and Vince can sell 2 former MMA fighters.
I mean, the match is certainly there. Yeah.
Between Lashley and Matt Riddle. Yeah, it's all there, just not happening.
And Lashley, after the bell's already rung, he keeps going after him with more hurt locks. And even MVP doesn't like it. He's like, what are you doing, man? You try to go to jail? Don't kill him, man.
Which we've seen so many things in professional wrestling. Imagine if this is the one to put a man in jail.
An extra submit. Yeah. We've
like
seen assaults with weapons to the head.
We've seen people set on fire. But no, Bobby Lashley, sleeper hold. Yeah. You're going to jail, bud.
So, I don't know. Lashley just kind of stares daggers at MVP, so maybe a little more tension amongst the Hurt
Why
business?
does there always need to be tension, Mike? Like, why can't...
Alpha males.
Why can't shit just be good and everyone be fun and happy? Is that so much to ask?
They're greedy. They're greedy is what they are.
Okay.
Hopefully Riddle will get a proper rematch, though, like with some sort of stip, like we said.
He deserves it, because what the fuck else? What are we doing with the title picture itself, then?
Yeah, if we're just going to pull this bullshit.
Bullshit.
But then we cut backstage where this nice Bugatti pulls up. But it's Bad Bunny. So it wasn't just a one-off. He's here to be on Miz TV.
He's here to be on Miz TV because he heard that Pat McAfee won the shooty for Celebrity Appearance of the Year, and he said, "Hold my beer," or maybe it was "Hold my cerveza."
What was that? Royal Crown.
Hold my Victoria, my Victoria cerveza. With tequila, please. Because, Bad Bunny comes out. Because he's pissed because, I guess, The Miz destroyed his DJ equipment. I mean, that's really what it came down to. I mean, that's just expensive. That's like $5,000.
That's thousands. We cut back to the ringside where the officials are checking on Riddles still. And it's a bad scene. He's all dazed and confused. And he's like, who was I wrestling? It's not from the weed. It's from the Hurt Lock.
It's not the THC. It's the HB.
The lack of H2O.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I was trying.
I don't know. We get a little promo from Randy backstage. Just cutting a hot promo on Edge, promising that he will not be in the main event of WrestleMania because guess what? They're wrestling in singles action tonight.
That's fun. That's something.
First Edge match in 10 years, plus on Raw.
First Edge match on television. I guess that's what you were saying.
Yeah. Xavier Woods takes on Mustafa Ali. And Woods, at the very least now he's got Kofi at ringside, so not quite as much retribution shenanigans. I mean, they still try, but the commotion just allows Woods to reverse a pin into his own and get a 3 count, so... Xavier wins. They're tied 2-2, him and Retribution.
We're keeping score over here.
Yeah. Well, that was another. The runner-up for Tweet of the Week was when Reckoning tweeted at him and said, let's break the tie. And Xavier Woods was like, all right, let's do it.
Ooh.
So Xavier Reckoning, book it.
Book it!
When she's back. But then Miz and Morrison come out for that Miz TV segment we promised with Bad Bunny. And Miz just says, we both made mistakes last night. And we're sorry. So anything you want to say, Bunny? But he doesn't have anything to apologize for. So they propose collaborating an album, and Bad Bunny rejects it. So they get pissed. But then Damian Priest comes out to back up Mr. Bunny. And Priest just nails Miz and Morrison. Clears the ring. Go to break. Come back to Damian Priest take on Miz in singles action. So this is the official roster. This is him, Priest, Raw material.
That's what it's like being called up. You get to fight the Miz. Hey, remember all those fantastic matches you had against Johnny Gargano? Well, here is Mike the Miz.
Hey, the Miz is no slouch, but Priest was looking good. Showing off his high flying, those big toe bacon heroes. I think Morrison tries to distract him, so Miz goes to grab the briefcase, but then the Bad Bunny snatches it away from the Miz. So Morrison comes over, and the Bunny just pops Morrison in the face with a microphone, and Priest hits Miz with the Reckoning, gets the win in his debut.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, that's the big debut. I guess, instead of having him deliver a promo or giving some kind of interview, we had a rapper talking to the Miz. Strange choice. But yeah, I guess, if you're on the main roster and someone debuts, you have to do the job. You got to make them look good. And I guess they did just that. They've been in this string of like random feuds, which are just kind of going nowhere. And he has
Mizmo,
yeah. And he has the
that Money in the
briefcase.
Bank's got to come into play sooner.
He has the
later.
fucking briefcase, and he's gonna pull a Corbin and lose it. Who did Corbin lose it to? Wasn't it like I think it was Jinder? He's gonna pull a Corbin and lose it to Jinder on a SmackDown.
I don't know, but not this week. Hope as long as Bad Bunny doesn't cost him the cash in, that'll just be too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost May, so it's almost time for the next briefcase, right?
Thinking, yeah.
Fuck, let's just get this title on somebody else, or this briefcase rather. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's go to a Raw Tag Team Championship match. Hurt Business defending against Lucha House Party. And the Lucha's doing what they do best. Some nice, just high-flying action all over the place. Fun tag team stuff. But Hurt Business have the power advantage. And they gain control. Cedric's all fired up when Shelton tags himself in from behind. Hits the pay dirt, gets the win to retain. But they're still just having tension, like we said, for no reason. You're
dumb.
Winning. Why are you having tension?
It's fucking dumb. It's fucking so first you have Retribution, you bring them onto Raw, make them look like a joke. Then you have the Hurt Business, bring them onto Raw, and what? Now just slowly make them look like a joke again? Like one of them's gonna cause the other one to kind of like lose the title, and then one of them's gonna get booted, and you're like, yo, you guys were a strong ass stable, and now you're just everything else. Now you're just Retribution. See, Hurt Business is just gonna become Retribution soon, right?
And then Retribution will become Hurt Business.
If only.
We'll see. Maybe it's just a speed bump on the road to WrestleMania.
Now we still have Fastlane.
And the Elimination Chamber.
And the Chamber. Don't forget about the Chamber.
Then we got a triple threat #1 contenders match for the women's tag titles. Charlotte and Asuka versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Lana and Naomi, which I like that pairing. They can both complement each other.
Yeah, I feel like they've been in the ring together also.
Yeah,
or like before in a tag sense.
Yeah, but Lana's improved a little bit since then. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyways, this was a solid little match. Everyone's looking fine here. Charlotte hits the natural selection on Dana. But, of course, we can't have a Charlotte match without, woo! Ric Flair's music hits. He comes out with Lacey. And Charlotte is just so annoyed. She just tags Asuka so she can just leave the match and chase them away to the back. So Asuka's like, what the fuck? You bailing? And then she turns around right into the rear view from Naomi and gets a 3 count. So Naomi and Lana are getting a tag title shot. And I hope they win it.
I hope somebody fucking wins it. See, my thing now is that this kind of like Ric Flair, Lacey Evans thing is now causing Asuka to lose.
Well, yes.
When it could have been Mandy Rose or Dana Brooke to take the pin, giving us the exact same result. Like, if we're supposed to feel bad for Charlotte, like, are we supposed to?
Asuka's the only one I feel bad for.
Who are we supposed to feel bad for right now? Why wasn't the Riot Squad here? So many questions about this women's tag division. I just can't wait for Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart to fucking take home that Dusty Cup on the women's side. There, I said it. I'm calling it right now.
And hopefully they can beat Lana and Naomi.
Hopefully they can just...
At least they'll give them a 2-week run with the
Hopefully they can make this title mean something.
Yeah. But throw Lana a 2-week reign in there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Why not? You'll do it. He'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Sustained. Backstage, Charlie interviews a very emotional Drew McIntyre. We don't normally see this side of him. He was on the verge of tears.
Yep, you never see a babyface cry.
Kind of funny with the name Babyface, but yeah. He's just talking about...
It's the babyface crying. Aww.
He was, because Sheamus is throwing away their decade-long friendship. You know, he reminisces. They literally spent Christmas days together in diners when they had no one else, no one to be with. But you want the match that bad, Sheamus? You want the title? You got it. So maybe that'll be the Elimination Chamber title match. Who knows? Or maybe it'll be on Raw.
Yeah, maybe it might be...
Chambers in 3 weeks.
Maybe it might be somewhere. Mike, if you were wondering, because I know that you were, December 7th was Asuka's last singles win.
It was that...
While she was the champion, yep.
I was going to say, was it title defense?
No, she won the title, I think, a couple weeks before that would have been...
So she hasn't defended the title in, like, a long time.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, she wins at Clash of Champions in September. No, that was against Bayley. Yeah, you know what I mean. Long story short, folks, nobody wants this Raw. So if you want the Raw Women's Championship, if you want this United States Championship, if you want these tag champions, just fucking go take them. No one else wants them.
We'll see. Hopefully they do something soon. I mean, they got to figure out a WrestleMania angle that hopefully isn't Charlotte versus Asuka, because, I don't know. That's not big enough.
No.
We've seen that before.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it before, but nobody, like, who's up, who like, we need, we need...
Rhea Ripley?
We need the fresh blood of Rhea Ripley against Asuka. I think that's the only thing to save this right now. Yeah.
Because Shayna Baszler, they've already waited. They've already fucked around with her for too long. There was a time when Shayna Baszler...
There was a time, it was like this time last year. This was the time for Shayna Baszler, but not anymore. They fucked that one up.
Yeah. Let's go to some tag action. Elias and Jackson Riker taking on Jeff Hardy and Carlito. Mr. Carlito Caribbean Cool. Do you know much about him from his first run?
Not really.
Yeah. His whole gimmick was spitting in your face. He would take a bite of an apple and just spit it in you.
It's a cool gimmick.
Yeah, but COVID, they're probably not going to allow it. But anyways, he gets a little hot tag, hits his backstabber move, tags in Jeff, Swanton Bomb. They get the win. So, maybe Carlito's going to get that MVP return, like we said.
Yeah, where he's there, and then he gets matches.
Managing.
Yeah. That's a way to go.
It's a way to go. Alexa Bliss takes on Nikki Cross, and we get the playful Alexa just messing around with Nikki, but Nikki's just like, what do you want from me? So she goes after her and doesn't hold back, but Bliss fights back, and she's just having a good time, dancing around, doing hopscotch. But Cross fights back. She's got Bliss in the corner when she transforms into one of the older versions of Alexa from the Bliss Cross days. And Nikki's just like, what the fuck? So Bliss is ready to go, and Nikki attacks, and then Bliss transforms again and grabs a hold of Nikki, goes for the Sister Abigail, but then this time she adds her own little twist as she turns it into like a DDT Abigail, which looks pretty cool. Gets her the win.
Gets her the win. It felt weird because I think right off the bat this story felt like they put this on hold months ago. You know, the Alexa Nikki thing, and then they picked it back up just like this, which is wild. One thing I love in WWE with the supernatural element is that, like, it's like a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So it's like you see somebody doing something creepy once, you would be freaked out. You see them doing the creepy thing again, you might be like, oh, they're doing that weird thing again. But then you're like 6 or 7 times into it. You're just kind of like, yeah, Bliss, wrap it up. Get this costume change in. We're in the middle of a match. Like, I love that one thing that no matter how many times you know The Undertaker is going to pop up when you hear the big dong, You're always acting like it's the craziest thing you've ever seen, that The Undertaker popped up after the big dong. And Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss here was no different. She's so surprised that Alexa Bliss transformed into a different character, although she's been doing it for the last month. It is, I love seeing it. Nikki Cross is looking good out there. That's all I got to say.
She was looking good, though.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
But, I mean, the night before, Rhea Ripley did not fall for the same
Rhea
trick.
Ripley was just like, fuck this.
She just said, I ain't waiting around.
She's like, I got cool tattoos and a badass haircut. Get the fuck out of my ring. And then I'm like, oh shit, Rhea. Yeah, you're right. Get the fuck out of her ring. Get the fuck out of Rhea Ripley's ring.
But as Bliss is leaving, she just walks right past Randy Orton and has a little cold stare as he walks by. But Orton's out here for other business. He's here to take on Edge in that first match in 10 years. And yeah, good main event match. It was not the greatest wrestling match ever, like they had back in June, but this was television. They could only go 15 minutes. So
they could,
and also,
even if they wanted to. They weren't allowed.
Yeah, and I mean Edge, he just wrestled for an hour the night before, so
yeah, cut him with some slack, maybe.
Yeah, much more fatigue. I mean, Randy sat out for 90% of the Rumble, so I mean. Anyways, they have a good back and forth match here. Randy hits the draping DDT, looks ready to hit the RKO, but then Alexa Bliss appears, sitting on the turnbuckle with this dark black liquid just oozing out of her mouth. This distracts Orton, and he turns around right into a spear from Edge. Edge gets the win, puts Orton into rearview mirror on the road to Mania.
Yeah, and that's it, I guess. Randy Bray is still going, and the Edge
still going. I mean, Bliss has to do something. She has to fight someone.
Yeah, he has to fight someone. I mean, I guess Bray Wyatt will be returning to enact his revenge. But it was a pretty good ending to an okay show.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's all we got. That was the first half of the week. Mike, should we take a break?
Let's take a break then come back with another break. The beach break, among other things.
Beach break. We're going to come back because we got Wednesday Night War and a couple more fun things. So stick around.
It'll be a beach break. Okay, we'll be back. You remember that bit, right? Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the show here. Part 2. How are them Leafs doing, Mike?
Pretty good. 7-2-1. So
okay.
First, they're tied for first in the division, I think. I don't know. Doing well. Doing well in that all CDN division, the CDN, CDND. Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun so far. We actually had our biggest break of the season. 4 days off, which has been crazy after playing every other day.
56 games?
Yeah, 56. I guess we played 10, so chugging along.
The NBA is still doing like 72, and that's still way too fucking many. I don't get it. I don't get how the NHL was able to kind of agree on 56, which I even think is even on the shade of low. I was going to say like 62 games, I think is the perfect season length. 56 I'll be on the low, but 72, way too fucking much.
Yeah, what are they, what's their record at now? The Raps.
The Raptors are like 10 and 11.
Oh,
so I think we're
sitting up to 500.
Yeah, I think we're sitting on that in that 9th or 8th spot. I think we'll start winning some games, or of course there is that play-in spot of the tournament, the play-in tournament towards the end of the season that you get to fight for that 7th and 8th spot. So
as long as they're in the fight.
We're in the fight, baby.
Yeah. Of course, I saw that. Fred VanVleet have that Unreal game.
Oh, dude, he gave you your free fries alone, probably.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah,
he knocked 11 of them down, 10 or 11.
Yeah, no, that was quite the game. Was that Tuesday night? That game? What's
2 nights ago? Yeah, against
Tuesday.
Orlando, whenever it was,
Yeah.
and then I think.
Yeah, And yeah, that was fun. What was it? The most points by an undrafted player in NBA history?
There was a lot of those kind of stats.
Some fun records.
All those dumb records. Yeah, most by an undrafted player.
Well, that was like last night. Some guy broke a Michael Jordan record, but it's just another.
Yeah,
it's like most 25-point games to start a season.
Yeah, something arbitrary like that.
You're just reaching for it.
It's like, because he had that one game where he scored 24, but Michael Jordan still holds the record for most 20-point games to start the season. Who gives a fuck?
Like, what? He only played 18 minutes this one night because of this, and he still scored 24.
Who gives a fuck? Who won last year? Great. Who won the year before that?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, who won the year before that? That's what fucking matters.
Yeah. But, hey, sports. We love sports.
That's what fucking matters. And Russell Westbrook's 20-20 and 20 game. That was wild. But besides that, stop counting stats. Because, Mike, they're all just numbers.
Well,
statistics are just numbers. You got 6 goals, 7 assists on the 23rd of March. They're all just a bunch of numbers, and numbers, just like in the world of sports and when it comes to goals and assists, wins and losses. One in professional wrestling, a number a day can simply be put in your title reign. The title length, of course, nothing will ever beat the whatever ungodly number of days that Bruno Sammartino and Hulk Hogan probably held the belt for. But, being a long-standing champion is something very important for cementing your legacy. Could you agree?
I could, and I will.
You could, and you just may. So, Mike, we're going to do something special a little this week. Instead of trivia for our middle segment, I'm going to run you down a little bit of I Forgot That You Existed titles that have not been defended due to pandemics.
I forgot that you existed. You thought that they would book you when they did. I forgot that you existed. It isn't lovers, it's just fits.
Okay, because we've been able to see WWE, AEW, New Japan figured out what they're doing going on, but there have been, a lot of these other promotions that we know of and that for whatever reason are just kind of starting themselves back up, have not been able to start up again. And as a result, some people are holding titles for an insane amount of time. So we're going to kick this one off because I forgot that over in the world of NWA, I forgot that Nick Aldis was the World Heavyweight Champion. Still.
I don't hear him out of much.
You don't hear about him much because they had a show going into pandemic that they had to stop, and then they had to recently just kind of bring one back, and same kind of set, but there's absolutely no fans, right? Believe it or not, though. Sorry, go on.
No, it's funny, though, how that's happened, but in the meantime, the NWA women's title has switched hands.
Yeah. Seems weird, right? But
from Rosa to Deeb. And
that is true, yeah, that is a good point. But either way, this men's heavyweight champion, Nick Aldis, over there, champion, he beat Cody Rhodes on October 1st, 2018. He is currently sitting on an 837-day reign.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Holding that championship. Another promotion that stopped, and then kind of only recently been able to pick up because I forgot that Ring of Honor existed. I forgot because the world champion of Ring of Honor right now is Rush, who beat PCO just before.
That's not Leo Rush.
Not
right?
Leo Rush. But he won his championship on February 29th. Of 2020, so he's been sitting on a 341-day reign, which still feels like a lot of time,
Well, if it was February 29th, does it count as a year if he never reaches that day?
Yeah, just like that one kid you knew who was born on.
Like, hey, you're only 4 years old.
Only 4 years
16.
old. Cart him. Hey, cart him. He's not allowed to drive.
That's also his name, Cardum.
Cardum. You may have also forgotten that the tag team champions, Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham, they beat the Briscoe brothers on December 13th, 2019. So they're sitting on a 419-day reign.
Isn't Jay Lethal somewhere else as well? Is he on Impact or something?
He could. I don't know. He
I
used
don't know.
he used to be on TNA. So
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard his name in other places, or maybe it's just something. But yeah, Jay Lethal. Who was the other guy?
Jonathan Gresham.
Do you know him?
I saw his face and then recognized him.
Okay, maybe
But
that
Jay
would be-
Lethal, thumbs up.
Jay Lethal, I absolutely know.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, best Ric Flair impression you'll ever see.
Best Ric Flair impression you'll ever see.
Even better than Ric Flair on some days.
Close your eyes, and you honestly actually might not know the difference.
Yeah.
Mike, something you may have also, well, maybe you haven't forgotten this because we did talk about it recently, but you may have forgotten that AAA wrestling existed down in Mexico. You may have, I don't know, I think we would have remembered this, that Kenny Omega is the AAA Mega Champion. He is still, of course, he beat Rey Fenix on October 19th, 2019. So he's sitting at a reign of 469 days.
Wow.
That's a long time. Not been able. He's only had the one defense in that time period.
Yeah. I've heard that AAA doesn't care too much about that belt, though.
Okay, well,
They're
yeah,
more into-
we're looking over the days. We're looking over the days. That's all we're
Either
talking.
way, no, it's a belt's a belt. Collect them.
A belt's a belt's a belt's a belt. We're also talking about the. You may have forgotten the AAA tag team champions were the Lucha Brothers. Of course, do you remember the Escalada de la Muerte?
Of course.
Lest we will never forget.
Yeah.
But they beat the Young Bucks for that belt on June 16th, 2019, making their current reign 594 days.
Okay, so the Bucks won the titles in the ladder match, and then the Lucha Bros beat them for it on that day? Is that how it went?
I can't remember. Was the ladder match would have been at All Out?
The first All Out.
Which
yeah.
was August. So I
Yeah.
think Lucha Bros retained. Yeah, they retained that one
Okay,
because
I can't remember the order.
yeah, Matt Jackson rips off Penta's mask. That's our heel move, and then Lucha Bros walk. At least I think that's.
Yeah. Okay, either way. It's, yeah, it's funny.
Well,
All the AAA titles are just sitting in AEW.
well, one AAA title that's not sitting in AEW that you may have forgotten existed. Of course, they have their very own cruiserweight champion, and it's the Laredo Kid.
The Laredo Kid. I feel like, hasn't he been on? I don't know. I know his name, but.
You know his name. You would know his face. He's been around. But he beat Sammy Guevara on February 16th, 2019. So he is currently sitting on a 714-day reign.
Oh, boy.
Long ones. And our final wrestling promotion and champion that you may have forgotten existed, of course, we're heading over to PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. You may have forgotten that their world champion is Bandito. Who won? Who got exactly right? Exactly. I mean, this is a show that hasn't been able to, be in production at all. But he won his title on December 20th, 2019, sitting on a present day reign of 411 days.
Yeah, a lot of 2019s.
A lot of 2019s, which makes
right
sense.
Before, the pandemic hits, and then they just cruise by that next year.
Just cruise through the next year. But if we could be crowning a winner for these I forgot that you existed title champions, if there was so one, because we'll finish it off with this one. You may have forgotten that the tag team champions over in PWG are the Rascals, formerly known as.
Are they the guys that are in NXT now?
They're the boys that you may recognize from MSK, featuring an additional guy. There's actually like a third guy who stayed in Impact, but that's beside the point.
It's like Outcast. They used to have a third guy.
Exactly, just like that third guy. But he's no Farnsworth Bentley. No, that was P. Diddy. God damn it. The Rascals, whoever they are, they won their championship on April 20th, 2018. So they're sitting
extra.
They're sitting on a reign of 1,021 days for their single reign of the belt, which is just about half of the Young Bucks' total reigns as the most holding of that belt. So wow.
And now that they're NXT, when are they ever going to drop it? Those
Presumably they have to drop them right away, if not so retroactively. Everybody else who's done PWG and moved over to WWE, they lose the belt right away. It was like Daniel Bryan's last event. He won the championship only to like relinquish it the next day because he signed with old Vinnie Mac.
Okay.
So Daniel Bryan is a less than 1 day holder of that championship, also, which is kind of fun. Throwing it to him, the sign of respect, and then he moved on. But man, I forgot all of those champions existed, and God, who knows who knows when they'll ever pop on our radar again?
Let me throw you a bonus one here. I got one for you,
please.
Because over on NXT. Of course, we've got the Cruiserweight champion, Mr. Santos Escobar. But officially, he is still the co-champion because Mr. Jordan Devlin over in the UK is the interim. Escobar is the interim champion. Mm-hmm. Jordan Devlin's over in the UK, still the Cruiserweight champion. If you go on WWE.com, it shows both their names, both their pictures as / both names, co-champions. So Jordan Devlin, who knows if he'll ever come back.
I think I've seen him pop up.
I think he's in
NXT
the UK,
UK
wrestling. Yeah, he might even still have the belt, so maybe they just have a duplicate. But right now, it's both pictures on the same championship.
Well, okay. Well, Jordan Devlin, if we are counting, he won his belt at Worlds Collide in January of 2020. So he's sitting on a 375 plus.
Yeah. There you go. That's
day reign. Yeah, there you go. Getting that full year, it is funny to see, and it's kind of consistent in these, higher 300s. A lot of these promotions that, probably, who knows? Nick Aldis may not be this 800-day champion, or the Lucha Brothers may have lost by now. Bandito, who knows? But Jordan Devlin, even for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows what booking's gonna go in the future?
Well, that was fun.
Yeah. There you go. That's all I have for that. That's all I have for this week.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was a good new spin on a segment that we've done a couple times.
Spinning segments. Let's get to our Wednesday night, shall we? Let's kick off with, I guess, the moment we've all been waiting for. Another Rusev wedding angle. We're heading to Beach Break. It's AEW. AEW. All Elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
It's the Beach Break.
When your best man is wearing a dress shirt with the sleeves pulled off, nothing bad's gonna happen. Nothing bad can happen. Yeah,
I mean, weddings never get nothing bad happens with
weddings.
No,
well, that's a good point. No wedding truly goes according to plan. Never. That's never happened in the history of weddings.
Yeah, especially on television.
Especially when they're on television. So we'll get to the big wedding of Penelope and Kip Sabian a little bit later. But let's kick off the show with some classic hot AEW tag action.
Yes, the tag team battle royal to determine the number one contendership for these tag belts. And the champions themselves, Young Bucks, are in the match where if they win, they'll get to pick their opponent. And they've teased they would pick the Good Brothers.
That was a great step. That was a great. I love that little add-on.
And the beach theme. We had some surfboards, some giant beach balls, palm trees. It wasn't really overboard, but enough to know that
yeah, they've gone more overboard. They've gone more before, but they just didn't. They just didn't this time.
Yeah, but yeah, this tag team battle royal. I didn't notice. This must have happened at least a week or two ago, but Jurassic Express new theme song. The whole crowd seemed to know it. They were singing along.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that at all. I may have just kind of skipped through the intros for this one.
Probably. That's the only thing worth looking at that. But
did it have a fun Jurassic Park sounding vibe? Like
maybe it was similar to it. Maybe that's why. It was kind of like it had very much. It was. The crowd was like da 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 da. Yeah. That's probably why it was so familiar. Because
or the crowd just started singing. It was
Jurassic Park theme.
It was a real vocal crowd this evening. Maybe they were just singing the Jurassic Park theme song.
Yeah, Either way, next week, see if you notice if he comes out.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a packed ring here. 10 teams, 20 men total. Both members of a team must be eliminated for them. Yeah, for the team to count. But FTR was supposed to be in the match, but they were suspended, kayfabe, due to their conduct in the week prior with that salt in the eye or the cocaine in the eye, and whatever it was.
Unnamed white powder in the eye.
Yeah, so we get under here. John Silver gets a big elimination when he knocks out Jake Hager early on.
Hungy boy.
Hungy boy,
The
looking
boy
good.
is hungy.
And the one special thing about these battle royals is, the one side of the ring where the ramp is. Because even landing on the ramp counts as elimination, even though you're like 2 feet above.
Yeah,
the rest
you
of the
lose a
floor.
couple.
Counts.
You lose a couple feet there. That's a big deal.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful. Luchasaurus, he was the big man of the match because Hager was out early, so having his spots, choke slam Stu Grayson to the floor, which looked painful because Anthony Bowens didn't quite catch all of them.
Didn't quite catch him, Bo, but Stu Grayson, good Canadian kid. I recently found out, good Canadian lad.
That's good to know. Yeah, we like the Dark Order. We love the Dark Order.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? If you don't like the Dark Order, you can go fuck yourself.
Exactly. They had a good showing. They had multiple guys in this match. Evil Uno at one point hits the end of days straight out of Baron Corbin's book on Nick Jackson. Did you catch that?
It's a good looking move. I did not catch that. No.
It's a cool move. I mean, I'm sure other people have done it, but it's just, it's the one thing I can give Baron Corbin a thumbs up on.
The one thing, a deep six and the end of days, they do
six
look
as well.
good. They do look good, especially if the other guy can lean into it a little bit more.
Yeah. But it was not to be for the Dark Order on this night. John Silver, he lasted the longest, but eventually gets eliminated. Near the end of the match, the Good Brothers come strolling out, and they cost both Private Party and Nick Jackson the eliminations by distraction. So we're getting near the end. The Inner Circle, they all team up to eliminate Jungle Boy. But then Sammy and MJF, they start arguing. Sammy tries to attack him. Eventually, MJF gets dumped to the floor. So we get the final 3, Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, and Darius Martin of Top Flight. So obviously, Chris and Sammy, they team up. But then it gets to a point where Sammy and Darius, they're on the outside of the ropes struggling. Jericho goes to dump them, but only Sammy falls. So he's like, what the fuck? And then back in the ring, Darius tries to eliminate Jericho, but reverses it, hits the Judas effect, knocks him out. So Jericho wins the match, earning the tag title shot for him and MJF.
I knew that was going to happen, too. As soon as I already had a feeling going into the match, And then
You didn't want them to win?
And then it starts getting booked, and you're like, oh, no. And then he's on the outside of the apron, and just like Chris Jericho needs very little space to do a Judas effect. Because it's kind of like, it's like a half spin. It's a half spin with your arm up.
A lot less room than a super kick.
Exactly. And it's just like, oh my God, as soon as you get that close, I'm like, fuck, no, not this.
So you didn't want this, judging by your tone.
I think so. Just because, we said it the other day, and I think they allude to it a little bit later. Certainly. But I feel, give me Santana or Ortiz. Like I still want them.
Well, I agree on that. But I'll give you a brief fantasy book.
Ooh.
So Jericho, MJF, they get the title shot, but then they lose the title match because of Jericho, and then maybe MJF just takes it out on him, starts yelling at him, slaps him in the face. Who knows?
So this is the breakup of the Inner Circle.
We're teasing things already, because after this match, Sammy Guevara, he's pissed. He just walks off steamed. We'll get a little something from them later, but...
And, speaking of that, though, Mike, I just got to stop you right there, because I think this was the last we saw of anything Dark Order related. For the rest of the episode, I think, was when these guys all left the ring. So I do have to say, there were some things that went down on BTE. If you are interested... Because, of course, as you know, the Mustard Boy himself has been defending successfully the most coveted championship in all of professional wrestling. And like a kid in a candy store, Mike, if you were given the keys to the Air Canada Center, you would hop out there on the ice. you would be shooting a couple hoops, right? And if you were given the keys to the Jacksonville Jaguars practice and game facility, you'd probably get a couple balls out, maybe throw a couple targets. Hell, you may even you may even think to yourself, I bet I could kick a field goal.
Oh yeah. Give it to me. 30 yards, 40 yards.
30 yards, give it to me. And so, of course, Johnny John Boy Silver, he's feeling the same energy, and he challenges none other than Sammy Guevara to first to 3 field goals.
Oh.
Okay? This is an officially sanctioned BTE championship match. Everyone's there, of course. Alex Reynolds, Anna Jay was there, both of the Bucks. Everyone's giving their support, and after it was a pretty back and forth. It goes 1-1 to 2-2. Waiting on that last field goal. Now John Silver went first.
Do we know the distance of these field goals?
I think it was like normal field. I forget. Normal field goal distance. I think it's 10 yards. Is that 15?
So an after touchdown.
Yes, a point after attempt.
Yes.
And you could blame it on the footwear, or you could blame it on the pure athleticism. But Sammy Guevara hits that 3rd field goal before John Silver is able to, making him the new BTE champion.
Wow. After the long reign.
After the long reign, but that's not everything. Just like Kenny Omega showing up in Impact. Sammy Guevara's taken the belt over to his channel on YouTube. So now you gotta check out Sammy Guevara's YouTube channel for more BTE championship updates. But don't worry, Mike. I got it covered.
Is his channel like a vlog?
Yes.
Okay, I've heard of his channel before. I've never seen some.
I think it's kind of like a half and half.
Like he's still kind of in character, fucking around.
I think sometimes, I think it's a half and half. But I don't know. We'll see, and hopefully we'll get this belt has been defended more often than the Raw Women's Championship and the U.S. Championship combined. So let's go for it.
Yeah, keep us posted.
I will. I will.
Yeah. Well, we go back into the ring where Tony Schiavone seems to be weekly. These interviews with Sting and Darby. Getting a little repetitive at this point. But, what else is there to say? Street Fight, Team Taz, it's coming up. I guess the one piece of news we find out, Darby Allin's defending the TNT title against Joey Janela next week. But I don't think the bad boy has a good chance.
It does not bode well for the bad boy. Yeah, you're right, Mike, getting a little bit repetitive because I guess this match could have maybe happened tonight. But we're still kind of like a month away from this Revolution pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, like at least
it feels weird because we have like 2 matches booked for it already, and we are still a month away.
Yeah, I don't need to see a promo every week to hype it up. We're excited. Sting's going to be in a match, so let's just do it.
Yeah, if it ends up being the pre-recorded cinematic thing. But it will be nice to see Darby Allin not in a matchup with somebody from Team Taz.
Yeah, Joey Janela. We haven't seen him on Dynamite.
Exactly. I'm sure
he's crazy. He's hardcore like Darby. They'll do some stunts.
He's probably a dark guy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably how he got this title shot. Won 4 matches in a row.
Won so much. I wish when AEW does their power rankings, it was like power rankings and then dark power rankings.
This is a big surprise because up next we have Dr. Britt Baker taking on Thunder Rosa, and this is in the first hour of the show, a women's match.
This was shocking.
Yeah, shocking. This was Undertaker losing the streak.
Undertaker just lost the streak right there.
No, this was great though. I love it. The match itself was really good. Back and forth submissions. They were brawling all over the place outside the ring. They both took some big bumps on that ramp, that elevated ramp there. Eventually just this big, reversal. Britt's trying to get the lockjaw in. She's trying to pin her, just back and forth. Reba jumps up on the apron, removes the turnbuckle pad, which Baker uses to flatline Rosa face first into that unforgiving steel, and she's just knocked right out. Britt applies the lockjaw anyways, and the ref just rings the bell. So she wins.
Wow.
But it was fun. I like it.
Yeah, and I think the last time Thunder Rosa was in a match, we were like, wow, And then she was in another one.
An AEW wrestler.
We're like, wow. Yeah, basically at this point, yeah, she'll be, Britt Baker's still the future. Let's just get
a great hand to have.
Just get us there. And Britt Baker is later announced. I guess we do get all the names of both sides of this eliminator tournament for the AEW Women's Championship. And Britt Baker's name is in there. It's there.
She's in there on the. So it's kind of the American versus Japanese side is doesn't like there's Japanese people on the American side. Obviously, it's just where the matches take place. So like Riho's on the American side, and a bunch of other names.
No, Riho's on the American side, which I thought that was one thing that was like, okay, yeah. So I guess she's here
because that's where she's here. She'll be wrestling. Then, a couple new names popping up. We'll get more of that tournament when it comes around.
Yeah. Wow.
Just excited it's happening.
So I guess 2 weeks ago they announced the tournament's happening. Now this week they announced who's in it. And then probably in 2 weeks they'll announce when it's going to start, and then we just spent a month and a half hyping this belt.
Hopefully it doesn't all take place on Dark. I want to see the matches. Dynamite.
At least a couple, or at least like
the main ones.
Yeah, or I was going to say the finals. Kind of when you get down to the end
ones,
of the bracket.
I'm sure there's
probably the first round will be darked.
Yeah. And the ones that are filmed in Japan, they might not be able to put it on Dynamite at the same time, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a licensing thing. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see, but we'll get to that. Let's go to tag team action. Hangman, Adam Page, and Matt Hardy taking on the Chaos Project. But nothing too special here. They just kept it short. Hangman hits the buckshot lariat, and then Matt tags him and steals the pin, gets the win.
He stole a pin the other week, too.
Yeah, he did. He's been doing that a lot. He's... this heel turn he's been doing subtly.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I've been feeling for longer now is this like Hangman Page not standing up for himself against anybody. It doesn't matter who, I mean, he didn't really get to tell Kenny or the Bucks or the rest of the Elite how he feels, and he didn't really get to tell the Dark Order how he feels, and he just kind of
now Matt's walking all over.
Now Matt's walking all over him, like he just hum, and then puts on fucking match of the year, level shit. So yeah, one of these days Hangman's gonna stand up for himself. God damn it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Then we go backstage. Jericho and MJF, they got a cooler full of the bubbly, ready to celebrate the win. With the rest of the inner circle, but Sammy is just sitting there all mad still and says, "Hey man, you said we're all in this together, but sometimes I'm not so sure." And he walks off. MJF tells Jericho, "You should go check on him." So Jericho leaves, and then when he does, Max turns to the rest of the inner circle and says, "Boys, I think it's high time we have a conversation." And then Wardlow closes the door on the cameraman, so we can't see this private meeting, but the wheels are turning. MJF, mutiny. He's looking to take over this thing.
He's looking to take over the inner circle.
Yeah. And if you're going to kick out, if you have to kick out Sammy and Chris to do it, hey, that's the way she goes.
I mean, that might be, that's it. I mean, we need one more Chris Jericho babyface run before he retires, and I think this would be it. We just give us one more.
Sammy can do the heavy lifting.
He's going to cut his hair. He's going to put on his little trunks again, and we're going to get babyface. Yeah, I don't want him to do it either. We're going to get babyface Jericho one more time.
Yeah, one more time. But yeah, so maybe like I was saying, MJF and Jericho, they lose that title shot, and MJF gets pissed, takes it out on Jericho. Who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see.
That could be it. That could be the play down the road.
But it's time, ladies and gentlemen. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. We've got the standard, the wedding ring is, or the dress, the ring is all dressed up for the wedding. The nice fancy white frilly stuff, big cake. So all the men come out, the groom, the best man, Keith Mitchell is in there as your minister. He's a former wrestling personality. And then the beautiful bride, Penelope, comes out. And even the commentary team was stunned by her. Just looking great. And then we just have the standard proceedings. Both the bride and groom, they share their personal vows. There were a bunch of dirty jokes thrown in there. Anything you want to point out?
No, nothing. I've seen a lot of weddings, so
yeah, exactly.
It was a wedding.
Yeah, they both say "I do." They exchange their rings. They're pronounced man and wife. Share a very passionate kiss, and then Miro leads us in a toast as he's bossing around the butler, Chucky T. But Miro gets suspicious of a surprise attack, so he just destroys the empty gift boxes that are around the ring, thinking someone's inside, but there wasn't. But during all of his ranting, Chuck managed to sneak a pair of handcuffs around his foot, ties Miro to the corner of the ring, and then Chuck attacks Kip, who knocks Penelope face first into the wedding cake. So Kip starts fighting with Chuck, and then Orange Cassidy pops out of the cake to help his friend. So at the end of everything, Orange Cassidy and Chuck stand tall. But Penelope and Kip are married.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. So eventually AEW had to have their first wedding segment. Eventually it had to happen. You're not a professional wrestling promotion until you have your first wedding. So of course you get a pass for it because you've done it for the first time. Nothing extraordinary here, short of, I mean, I did like the couple jabs that Miro made about, he's like, I've done this before. I did like a couple of those jabs. Of course, we can remember his ceremony getting broke up with Lana. I mean, the whole second half of Lana stuff ever. Also, and then when he got the crowd to sing "What Is Love," that was also a good takeaway, and it felt very spontaneous. It was a very singing crowd today, Mike. Between you noticed
love was in the air. You know, people were happy.
But nothing insane, nothing crazy. But I guess there's a match later on.
Nothing outstanding, nothing too horrible. Just Penelope being a stunning, blushing bride.
There you go.
That's my takeaway. And JR didn't say anything over the top.
Yeah, well, he was
like, oh, those tits! Look at those!
Yeah, well, that's probably because he didn't listen to fucking Jerry Lawler 3 nights before during the fucking Rumble. Why? Realize this is 3 years in a row that Jerry Lawler's doing the fucking women's Rumble. Like, who's?
It must be in his contract.
Whose specific ideas? There's no way the WWE is contractually obligated to make. If they are contractually obligated to make Jerry Lawler.
He saved Triple H's and Stephanie's granddaughter from a burning fire. So they said, "How can we repay you, King?" He said, "I'm calling every women's Rumble."
That actually happened?
No, but maybe.
Jesus Christ, Mike! Oh no, you're
I'm giving a possible reason for why.
That's my God!
I'm fantasy booking here.
Fantasy booking. Why Jerry Lawler's still allowed on the fucking microphone?
Yeah. But let's move back to the in-ring action here. Eddie Kingston taking on Lance Archer in a lumberjack match. So, of course, doesn't take long for it to turn into chaos.
Well, and I was going to say, Mike, this was one of the first one of the lumberjack matches I remember in a while where the lumberjacks were doing a lot of work.
They were just fighting each other. They didn't even care.
That point, they were all just running around the ring, fighting each other, coming in and out. I've never seen a match where they were doing so much.
Well, even fucking Jake Roberts got involved. He hits this big clothesline to Angelico, and he just falls to the floor with him. Like an old man. We're like, oh, God. But he was okay.
We're all having fun.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I mean. It was just, even he got wrapped up in it. But Kingston, he's got his buddies Butcher and Blade helping him. They set up a table in the corner. But this Bear Bronson guy, must be Bronson Reed's cousin. I don't know. Looks just like him. Or same style. He just spears Blade through the table. Archer gets a hold of Eddie, hits the blackout, gets the win.
Yeah, that's it. Eddie Kingston was wearing a shirt. That was my biggest takeaway. I thought the match was going to be a little more fun.
Doesn't he always wear a shirt?
No.
Or like he wears like the wife beater type thing?
No, he does like a tights thing, like a singlet type look. Anyways.
Like a tucked in? Yeah, I don't know. There was like a baggy shirt this week.
Yeah, it was something like that. I think that was my biggest takeaway. It was just a fucking battle.
Yeah, I mean they've been going at it for a couple weeks or maybe even longer, but Archer gets the win here.
Yeah, maybe we'll get one more with some kind of street fight or not street, like some kind of no DQ type of rules. Let them get bloody.
A Brooklyn Brawl.
They're coming to Brooklyn. And then they actually film it on a closed set, like on the Seinfeld lot or something, That'd be fun.
There was one little quick promo. I don't know where they were, on a bus, on a backstage. I don't know. FTR. They have Marco Stunt held hostage or something.
Oh, yeah, they're probably backstage, Mike, because the space that they have at the Jacksonville Jaguars practice facility and game field, there's just rooms.
Just rooms everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's honestly one of the best parts about watching BTE. You get to see all the behind-the-scenes shit that's going on at a football stadium. It's more interesting than you would think.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's lots of cool stuff. Then we go to the main event of the beach break. We got Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers teaming up against Mox, Pac, and Phoenix. So 6-man tag here. Yeah, you got a little bit of everything. All these different styles of wrestling. Everyone's having their moments.
And I thought this was fun, too, because I just, as the match was happening, I would have remembered that, of course, Mox and the Good Brothers have worked together before. And, of course, Pac, I don't know, has Pac ever, did he ever get to take on, excuse me, did he ever get to take on the Good Brothers in a WWE ring? Who the heck knows? It's so fun to see all these worlds colliding.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, just a bunch of big flurry of moves at the end until eventually the Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer on Rey Fenix to get the 3 count. But they're not done there. They just keep on beating down the baby faces until Lance Archer runs out to help them. So, I think it's officially safe to say he's on the good guy side now. Good guy side.
He's babyface Lance?
Yeah, babyface Lance, the murder hawk.
the babyface murder hawk.
But eventually it all leads to Moxley is all alone in the ring with Kenny when all of a sudden he's blindsided from behind by this hooded man who reveals his mask to reveal it's Kenta, who picks him up, hits the go to sleep. He wants that IWGP US title. And he's got the right. He's got the briefcase or whatever it is.
He's got the briefcase.
Yeah, so Kenny Omega then comes back in, stands tall over Moxley to end the show. But yeah, the big story there, though, New Japan is now crossing over onto AEW.
At least Kenta, Kenta's in that in the New Japan New Beginnings Cup, which happens over here in the States because they have their own little, stateside chunk of their promotion. Mm-hmm. And that's where Kenta has been hanging out. Man, that was a fucking swerve and a half. That was a big shock. That was a big old shock to see 3 different wrestling promotions. 4. Kenny's a double champ, in the same room together. Who the heck knows?
Yeah. And like you said, this can be the way for Moxley to lose the belt without having to cross the border. He can just lose it in America, and Kenta can take it back to Japan.
I mean, if you're forgetting that existed, he's been champion for like 300, and another insane amount of days. Remember, because he had to give it up because he wasn't able to make it there because there was a typhoon
due to tsunami or typhoon,
and then he goes back and then beats Lance Archer, which I thought coming into this, I was like, oh shit. I don't think I don't know if Lance Archer is necessarily there for the for the babyface move. I think Lance Archer deservedly gets a rematch to this IWGP US Championship. He did lose it to Moxley, but I think he's still there. Kenta also has a shot at it. Those 3 boys should go to fucking town on each other.
Well, if that's what they want to do with it, that'll be fine. I'll watch it.
I mean, I'm watching it either way, Mike, I think.
Yeah. But, like you said, a hot ending to a fun show.
Hot ending to a fun show. And then if you switch networks, if you went over to the USA Network right now, too bad. It's 10 o'clock. You're probably watching CSI New York. But if you were only just 2 hours earlier, you would have caught NXT.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So
the show where the cups are dusty and the Pete's are doony.
Yes. Speaking of those cups, we'll give you a quick update.
Give me that dusty cup. Give me that dusty cup.
On 205 Live last week, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon defeated Marina Shafir and Zoe Stark by submission.
Which is too bad. Marina Shafir, you know, favorite of the show, one of the show's favorites, of course. But missing her fellow Goon Squadress.
Yes, Jessamine Duke.
Is that what we called
has
them?
been forgotten.
Is that what we called them? The Goon?
The Goons? Yeah, the Goons. Had not been seen as a pair in quite a while.
Yeah, and it's too bad. I was hoping that we wouldn't have given up on that. Didn't they have shirts that said, like, play strong...
Something.
Strong, fast. It was something silly.
Maybe when Ronda Rousey stopped showing up, they're like, we don't have to give him screen time anymore.
Well, and Shayna Baszler gone, too. It's like, well, there goes our little
it's like,
four horsewomen fantasy. But
yeah. You know, the two good ones are gone now. Yeah.
But hey, Marina Shafir.
Marina Shafir is good.
Screen time.
Okay, let's move on to the show because we got more Dusty Cup. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai teaming up against Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter in a semifinal match here. And, you know, Team KC continue to show good chemistry. The fight goes outside the ring where Casey just climbs up the steel beam where the lighting rig is. Just like Spider-Man, she just climbs right up there, hits a huge diving crossbody to the woman on the floor. She's awesome. You know, her and Ricochet, they're married. They're going to have kids one day. The kid's just going to come cartwheeling out of the womb. But Casey, later on, she hits that move again, that insane, the Falcon Senton, the reverse Black Arrow, whatever you want to call it, that like triple corkscrew.
I like reverse Black Arrow. That's what I'm going with right now.
Okay, eventually they'll have to name it something.
Eventually. It looks pretty cool. So eventually.
I mean, it looked really cool, and that could have ended the match, and it should have because... there was a bit of a miscue here, I think. Dakota Kai was clearly late coming in to break up this count, in my opinion. Do you think she was late?
I can't say I recall such close of a call.
Maybe it wasn't as egregious as maybe it was more butt pat than Brian.
More of a butt pat, if I'm being honest.
But yeah, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. But anyways, that breaks up the pin. So back in the ring, Raquel gets a hold of Casey and hits a massive one-arm powerbomb. I don't think she needs any help from Casey on this move. She just like deadlifts her, slams her to the ground safely though, not like Nia.
It's always safe.
And that gets them the win. Dakota, Raquel advance to the finals, which we find out will take place at TakeOver Vengeance Day. So it's not quite St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah, Vengeance Day is fun though.
I was gonna say it's still V-Day, which is
still V-Day
thematic. They even had the logo with like the little.
We never got to see Casey Catanzaro come up in the Rumble there, so
yeah,
we saw, but you know, seeing that reverse Black Arrow, it's a cool looking move.
It's a damn cool move. Well, we'll see more. Team Casey is still cool.
Team KC.
And yeah, Vengeance Day. We find Vengeance was the name of an old WWE pay-per-view for many years, so they're still doing that. You know, NXT, they've been doing that nostalgic bring back pay-per-view thing.
Well, and the main roster does it too. So, I mean, nobody's. Yeah,
I mean, everyone does it.
Everyone does it. No one's
AEW does it.
No one's forgiven from the hey, show up for a night.
Yeah.
Style of booking.
But then we get Mr. Leon Ruff taking on Austin Theory. And, you know, overall, I just like how Ruff, you know, he wasn't a one-hit wonder. He's been getting booked consistently since then.
Yeah, he's been doing
He's become a nice little mid-card act.
Mm-hmm.
But he's dealing with Gargano on the outside, causing shit. And then eventually Candice and Indy, they come out. Then Shotzi and Ember come out to attack them. So everyone gets cleared away. Eventually, Ruff and Theory are back alone in the ring. Ruff hits his like 360 cutter for a big 2 count. But then Theory gets up, hits his finisher, and gets the win. And then he goes to beat down Ruff some more. And Dexter Lumis appears, chokes him, and rips some of his hair out as Theory runs off.
Yeah, Lumis is still looming.
He's looming.
And Austin Theory still not British. Those are still my biggest takeaways.
Yeah, Dexter. He just kind of floats around right now.
Mm-hmm.
Scares a guy for a bit, feuds with him, then
paints a
scares
picture,
another guy.
scares another guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but then we get this video for the Dragon Stable. Tian Sha. Is that the name of the stable, or is that the name of the leader?
I think that was the name of the leader. That's
Okay,
how I,
so-
because I think it was her name.
Okay.
The whole story, that was super cool. I love
It was
that.
cool, yeah. It was very different. It was like a storybook drawing, like pictures painted, narrating, telling the legacy, like the group of this like mysterious dragon that's like thousands of years old. And eventually we get these good... We still don't have the full reveal, but we're getting pretty good looks at the face of this like white painted thing. This Tian Sha. Looks very cool.
Yeah, and I guess whoever it is, we have no clue who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
That-
Because if Xia Li was already looking badass, who's this?
I know, and I there's literally no one I can think of who they would have given. I mean, I don't think there's any former, Chinese performers who stick out unless it's like fucking.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's
literally
just
nobody.
hope that it
Yeah.
pays off.
Yeah, so it's
'Cause
gonna
so
be
far-
it's gonna be a lot of fun to. I mean, who knows if she's as good as they're kind of pumping this performer up to be. That's gonna be badass. Just another badass woman on the best women's roster in the game.
Yeah, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. But let's go to the men's side of the Dusty Cup. Second round action here. We got Legado del Fantasma against the Lucha House Party. So you know what to expect here. Just lots of nice cruiserweight wrestling, high flying all over the place. Eventually, the Legado, they hit this Russian leg sweep, spinning heel kick combo to get the 3 count and move on to the semifinals to face MSK, who come out afterwards and cut a little promo on them.
MSK, who are looking hot coming into it. That's what we've been feeling this whole kind of time.
One of the favorites right now.
Yeah, certainly.
And I like it. Then Pete Dunne comes out
Peter Dune.
with Danny Burch and One Lorcan. And Dunne just cuts a promo on Finn Balor. He wants a shot at that title. So Finn comes out, gets in the ring, and says, all right, you got your shot. Take over Vengeance Day. So that's going to be a great match. But then Edge comes out. The Royal Rumble winner. He does have a right to be here, as he acknowledges he can challenge for any belt he wants. So, and he's been paying attention all these years to NXT because they have a focus on the second W of WWE. And that's fun. He's a big fan. He sees the passion. He sees 2 of the best in the ring right here with him. So, just a little tease. He's never had that NXT belt. So, but we don't think he will do it.
He might not. But this was also the moment for me, too, where I said to myself, oh, shit, the next 3 months is Edge going to be giving fucking badass promo after a badass promo and another I just realized, like, oh, we're in for such a treat. We're in for 4 months of just, it's going to be sick.
I do think he'll make a choice sooner than later.
Sooner rather than later?
Just stick
Okay.
to a show.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. Though. I still, it could go either way. Drew, Roman.
Really good.
But anyways, Johnny Gargano is backstage getting interviewed when he's told that he will officially be defending that North American title against Kushida, as you and I had been kind of hoping for the last while there. So this takeover card really coming together.
Really is, yeah, which is fun. Which is, I guess, not this weekend, but the weekend after that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
Fantastic.
This weekend's the Super Bowl, and then next weekend's the Takeover Bowl.
And then probably next weekend is probably the Chamber, for all
The
we
Chamber,
know.
and then the week after that will probably
Fuck
be
me.
Revolution.
Fuck me.
We're getting right into it.
Oh my god.
But then we go back to some women's action. Jessie Kamea, who is now part of the Robert Stone brand, taking on Toni Storm. But you don't really get much of a match here, as Mercedes Martinez just comes out, attacks them both, and no contest. Io Shirai comes out, hits a big moonsault on everyone. And yeah, just building hype. We already know that we're getting a triple threat women's title match.
Triple threat. What's going to be the cool stip associated with a match on this card? Like, what's what can be on a pole? Like a box of chocolates on a pole? Is that what we're going to get?
I don't know. We still got
Yeah,
time.
like a life is like a box of chocolates match.
Who's gonna host it?
where
There's no host
you
yet.
never know what stip you're going to get.
Yeah. Excuse me. Santos Escobar is defending his cruiserweight title against Kurt Stallion. And then Scarlett is just kind of watching from the balcony. Escobar doesn't know what to think about her, but Stallion, he puts up a good fight, but Escobar hits the legato, gets the win, retains his title. But then afterwards, Karrion Kross comes out and just beats up the cartel, gets in Santos' face, and says, "We got a problem here." I don't know. Karrion Kross isn't a cruiserweight. So.
Well, why not have...
I mean, he can still fight.
Have him fight, maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
The next couple of weeks on NXT is going to be very important to make this make sense.
Yeah. Because it really did just kind of come out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And one of those things you're like, okay, let's go. But yeah, make sense a little bit more, because I think a little bit later on we see Karrion Kross.
It was almost right after this.
Encounter Edge in the most dangerous
the parking lot. Yeah, the death zone.
Yep. That little the camera's kinda... blind spot. It's like they have one camera on one side, on the other, but it doesn't cover that little corner.
Kross basically just tells him, "Hey man, if you're thinking about challenging for the NXT title, that's going to be me," or something like that.
And then you're like, ooh, okay. Yeah, anything to do with Edge is just, new and refreshing and different. And
yeah, no, they're keeping us on our toes. We don't know which way he's going to go.
Yeah, agreed.
But let's close out this episode with another dusty quarterfinal match. Adam Cole and Roderick Strong taking on this new Super Dream team of Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. And yeah, this main event, they got a good amount of time here. Thatchman doing what he does best. Lots of nice mat wrestling. And, him and Ciampa just working well together.
Great combo.
Very, very complimentary.
Right there. Yeah.
Undisputed Era, though. They got the experience, but they never have faced this team. So just lots of submission work. Undisputed Era get lots of moves in. But eventually Thatcher, he uppercuts Cole on the outside of the ring. Then Roddy takes Thatch out, but then as he's going to get back in the ring, he walks right into the Willow's Bell from Ciampa, who covers him and gets a 3. So Ciampa and Thatcher move on to the semifinals.
And these are like 4 of the best workers in NXT, in WWE, in the fucking world. And they stole the show. To no surprise, they stole the show. So who do you think the oldest person in this match is? And if so, give me a little age guess.
I'm going to say Ciampa is 37.
You're close, but it's actually the Thatchman and Roderick Strong. I mean, there's a couple. Thatcher's oldest by a couple months, but you would never know that these guys are 37 years old. You would never know that Tommaso Ciampa's 35 years old. It's just fucking beautiful to watch,
Yeah. I'm gonna call it Ciampa Thatcher versus MSK.
That feels like where we would go. Certainly beating the Undisputed Era in a tag team tournament match. That's like a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. My only worry there, though, is that MSK is going to win, and the Thatchman isn't going to be given the respect he deserves. Or maybe MSK is just going to start. They have all the time. Hey, young bucks, sit down. The men got this.
Yeah, I mean, MSK, they can lose in the finals and still have it be a great debut for them.
It could go. It could go either way.
But that was it. That was your NXT.
Fantastic episode of NXT Wednesday. The fucking Rumble. God, it was actually it was a great week for professional wrestling.
Yeah, great week. Next week, I guess they got one more we'll hype up that Valentine's Day, but it never stops, this wrestling world.
Never stops. In the meantime, we do need to finish off our week. So let's crown a champion here. Let's crown a wrestler of the week.
It's the wrestler of the week. The wrestler of the week. Of the week. Of the week. The wrestler of the week. Of the week. Of the week. The wrestler of the week. Of the week. Of the week, the wrestler of the week.
God, I'm gonna say it first again. And we've been on such a streak lately, and I feel like I can only, I feel in my heart that our streaks will continue. Edge, you're doing it.
You've got Edge.
I'm got Edge as my wrestler of the week, of course, winning the Rumble at. I mean, you want to talk about 39-year-old Damian Priest? Let's talk about like fucking 52-year-old Edge out there. He's looking great. We're in for a hell of a ride. I know it. He wouldn't come back if it wasn't for, something fucking work, something good. And I'm so excited. And Bianca Belair on the other side, too. But I'm so excited for what's going to happen in the next 3 months.
The Rated R superstar. Yes, he still got it. The old man, 52. Is that what you said? I said
52. I'm going to say probably 50. I'm going to say I'm not that far off of... whatever that price was.
All right. Well, yes, like you said, the streak has been going on. You're going with the old, but I'm going with the new this week. For the first time ever, Bianca Belair has won the Royal Rumble. And, I think what sealed the deal was just that emotional celebration at the end. We all love wrestling, but when you can add that real stuff, that takes it over the top for me.
Yeah, when there's real
awesome.
tears.
Yeah, I mean, she came in number 3, which is almost as close as you can beat a number 1. So pretty much an equal performance to Edge. They're both great options, both great winners. But I'm giving the slight edge to Bianca Belair.
Yeah. We know, coming out of the Rumble, it's our favorite. We know somebody who's going to walking away with that award or probably be one of the winners of that. But that's all the time that we have for the whole show.
Yeah, the streak couldn't last forever. It was a great run.
Amen to that.
4 weeks in a row.
Amen to that, brother. Yeah, 4 weeks in a row.
And I'll give an honorable mention to Kevin Owens for that last man standing. He took some crazy bumps.
Yeah, there were some good bumps. And any other week,
Any other week, if it wasn't the Rumble, he probably would have won it for me.
And that's what makes this thing so tough, right? But thanks for listening, folks, to the show. Rate, review, like, subscribe. The podcast is everywhere. And we'll be back next week because we do have this Vengeance Day, baby. God, I don't know why that got caught up in my lips there for a second. But thanks for listening, folks. And Mike, you take care of yourself.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.